Here's an urgent alert from the Student Loan Hotline. The average student loan debt is $25,000. Have you been out of college for 10 or more years and you're still making your student loan payments? If you are struggling with paying off your student loan, if you are past due, we can help. Nationwide Student Loan Relief can now restructure your student loans. We can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop harassing collection calls, and even eliminate your student loan payment. If you can't afford your student loans, or if you're past due and you need help, you must call right now. We will restructure your loan or your money back, and that's a guarantee. So call the Student Loan Hotline right now. 800-949-8707. 800-949-8707. 800-949-8707.
Welcome to Beyond the Scoreboard with Rick Horrow, the sports professor. A very special episode for you guys today, the best of golf. 3 interviews from golf legends, including Glenn Mack, Gary Player, Joe Steranka. Rick Horrow sits down with them all.
Sports professor Rick Horrow, welcome. Beyond the Scoreboard, Beyond the Boardroom. Everything you want to know about sports business. This is unique. We are here at the Walmart Northwest Arkansas Championship presented by Procter & Gamble. Continue to always have to get that right. Those are the guys that write the paychecks, but they don't do it unless these tournaments are activated by something really special. Octagon, the owner of this tournament, one of them puts it on. And what's unique? Well, we're about to find out. Glenn Mack, the executive director of the Brightwater Culinary School, an active partner in this event, and he'll tell us why. Glenn, thank you for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Rick. Well, this is my 3rd year to come out for the LPGA as an individual, but more importantly, as a representative of Northwest Arkansas Community College, and specifically as Brightwater, a center for the study of food. So Octagon has partnered with us for the last 3 years, and each year it gets bigger and better. More involved, and this year we're excited. We're actually going to be hosting it at 8th Street Market, where we're located in downtown Bentonville.
Well, the interesting part about this, in case you were about to turn this off as yet another promotion for a tournament, this is incredibly unique from an international perspective in the sense that a sporting event joint ventures with a food school, food entity, but on the premise that food and the study of it and the promotion of it is actually an economic development engine. Explain.
Oh, absolutely right, Rick. So the idea is that 8th Street Market, which houses vendors doing artisanal food, drink, so you're going to have some cured meats, wines, breads. We have a craft brewery there. All of them are housed in a single market, and inside of that is a culinary school. So right there, it makes us very unique. But how it ties to the larger community and certainly to the LPGA tournament is that we are not just a...
We're going to take a short break, but when we return, more Rick Horrow, the sports professor.
Did you know that with a bachelor's degree, on average, you could make almost twice as much over a lifetime than a person with just a high school diploma? It's true. According to the 2012 U.S. Census Bureau, college grads with a bachelor's degree make almost twice as much as high school grads. Now, going back to school is easier than ever at Independence University. Log on and complete coursework from the park, or the beach, or even your couch watching the kids. And Independence University gives you the tools, a free tablet and laptop for undergrad students to use and keep when they graduate. That's right. Get a laptop so you can go to college from anywhere. Take the first step to a new career in business, information technology, healthcare, or graphic arts. Call to find the online degree program that's right for you, and you could be on your way to increasing your earning potential.
800-797-1256. 800-797-1256. That's 800-797-1256. Want to fly somewhere? Looking for cheap flights or cheap tickets? Then call That's right. Call the low-cost airline travel hotline now for prices so low we can't publish them anywhere. Low Cost Airlines has all kinds of cheap travel deals. Fly domestically and save up to 75%. You can even fly internationally and save even more. Yes, fly anywhere in the world and save a lot of money on your plane tickets. We'll even save you money with cheap travel deals on hotels, rental cars, even complete travel packages. So don't book your tickets until you call us first for the absolute cheapest prices on U.S. and international airline tickets and hotels. Call right now for prices so low they can't be published. Travel experts are here 24/7 to help. 800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. That's 800-754-4531.
The sun can make your outdoor deck and patio space so hot and uncomfortable you can't use it. But now there's the Sunsetter Retractable Awning. A Sunsetter Retractable Awning opens and closes in just 60 seconds, and it keeps your patio about 20 degrees cooler. It provides instant shade and protection from the sun's harmful rays. You can get your Sunsetter for as little as $5.99 when you call now to get your special $200 discount certificate and free awning idea kit. You're going to love your Sunsetter Retractable Awning. Sunsetter awnings are assembled in America and guaranteed to last. So call 800-692-0268 now to get a free awning idea kit with DVD plus your $200 Sunsetter discount certificate. This is a limited time offer, so call 800-692-0268. That's 800-692-0268 for your free awning idea kit with DVD and $200 discount certificate. There's no obligation, so call 800-692-0268 now.
Welcome back to Beyond the Scoreboard with Rick Horrow. We pick up right where we left off.
Having an opportunity to participate in the BITE, Taste of Northwest Arkansas, is a great way to integrate our curriculum, our activities. So, for example, this summer, it's the first year we've had summer classes, and a large part of it is related to this tournament and festival happening. And so our students in the butchery class got to grind their own meat for Friday's burger competition. The students in the bread class made the buns and the steam buns for the pulled pork that we're doing. We've got our seasonal cookery doing the slaw. We'll serve all of that out of our food truck. And so over the next 2 days for Thursday and Friday's events, we're going to have 40 students, staff, faculty members, all supporting this tournament and this festival. It's going to be a tremendous opportunity for our students to be engaged with the community.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll return back to that theme in a second, but the theme I'm about to tell you about. But the guy trained in China, Italy, Russia, Ukraine, and Uzbekistan, but he's got a southern accent going here in Little Rock. I don't know if you've heard that. Little Rock, Bentonville, Fayetteville, all of that. Is that fake, or are you working on it?
It's very much real. I completely lost my accent for 40 years when I lived outside of the state of Arkansas. I moved back 2 years ago, and it came back immediately.
There it is, ladies. Hey, it's coming back right now, ladies and gentlemen. So the bigger picture beyond even the tournament, it is unique for a 500,000-person region, 10th fastest growing, one of the top 10 SMSAs, to use this industry as an economic development tool. So talk a little bit about the history of the Brightwater Culinary School, how it got started, and how it got to where it is today.
Sure. Well, the school itself only opened 5 months ago in January of 2017. But the idea for Brightwater and using food as an economic driver started 10 or more years ago. So the community visionaries, community leaders with a lot of forethought came together and said, let's use food as an economic driver for education, for entertainment, to develop the workforce. And it all eventually came together in a former Tyson chicken processing plant on 8th Street in Bentonville, completely repurposed, an adaptive reuse project, staying true to our heritage and having an amazing site where our students can work shoulder to shoulder with entrepreneurs, owners, managers of some artisanal and local food production companies.
So you weren't here, but tell the story a little bit again from the business perspective. I'm assuming that as the leaders got together and understood that food is an important part of economic development, and Tyson's was here, which was fortuitous, and the Northwest Arkansas Council was here, which is also important. How did all of that tie together?
Oh, it was all integral. Northwest Arkansas Council commissioned a regional food assessment, and part of that regional food assessment, of course, doing research and study on the potential for food as an economic driver. But one of the recommendations that came out of that was to create a school that not only buffered the workforce, but also could help serve as a model of strengthening the regional food system.
And also, in my world, in sports development facilities and why sporting events are important, we always talk about quality of life, and a byproduct is industry relocation. Well, between P&G, a more direct Tyson's and Walmart, the industry relocation has other reasons to do it, but a culinary, diverse community with high-end food options, I assume, has its benefits as far as bringing more industry and bringing more corporations into town as well?
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, Northwest Arkansas has always been a great place to live. I was born here. I spent several decades traveling the world, and the first opportunity I had to come back, I took it. And so you can certainly look back and say, well, the pivotal moment was in 2011 when Crystal Bridges opened, and then you had an amazing world-class museum that drew the tourists, drew educators, scholars, artists to the area. And then from that, everything else began to continue. We already had an amazing foundation of a great place to work and live, and then some of those amenities that go along with tourism and economic development, such as hotels and restaurants and nightclubs, begin to follow along. And now Bentonville and the rest of Northwest Arkansas is just a jewel for not only tourism, but more importantly, for living here.
The guy sounds like a Chamber of Commerce guy who's remorphed back into a Southern accent, ladies and gentlemen. So get this. He was originally trained as a Sovietologist, and he covered the Soviet Union as a photo editor for 7 years in Moscow and New York with Time magazine. I'm not done. After the fall of the USSR, he spent a year on the Silk Road in Central Asia studying the culinary culture and history of the region. Can food bring us closer together?
Well, I certainly think so. And, you know, some of my friends and colleagues with overactive imaginations actually think I'm deep undercover, working in
what are you
profession.
What are you covering?
But obviously, to answer your question, food is clearly the most important thing in my life, to bring together family. And that's kind of how we develop the theme around Brightwater. It's food as business, food as wellness, and food as craft. And so those three elements come together. So when you're sitting at a table with your family and you're eating every day and you're preparing food together, those are the memories that last, not a trip that you took and a vacation that you had. It's those day-to-day memories where you're sitting around the table. My kids are grown up. They're spending the summer in Spain, and they're saying, Dad, the food is awesome here, but it's not as good as around our table. I'm like, well, thank you.
He evaluates everything in this world based on quality of food, which is the way it should be. And you're not going undercover anywhere because you can tell how passionate you are about what you're currently doing. Glenn Mack, Brightwater, thank you very much for doing this. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Rick Horrow, sports professor, very unique view of the world of food and economic development. Speak with you soon.
Next up in the best of golf, Gary Player.
We're here with the unquestionable icon of global and international golf. 1 million sit-ups a day, 15 million miles traveling. The million is a little made up. The 15 million is not. And celebrating the career Grand Slam. It was won in 1965. St. Andrews is big this week, but it's even bigger because Gary Player is front and center on it. How are you doing, my friend?
Rick, we are in our element here at St. Andrews, the home of golf. I mean, for people that have never seen this place, it's so extraordinary. The atmosphere of this wonderful little town, this world-class international university, a golf course that has stood the test of time, and all the great champions of the world have participated on it. the RLA, and here playing the oldest of all the major championships. What an experience and what an atmosphere, and we're all waiting for the bell to bong.
Well, when the bell bongs, it bongs for you, too, to pick up a metaphor. You were the only third golfer in history to win the career Grand Slam when you're 29 years old, and obviously Jack Nicklaus, Tiger Woods followed, but the company of Gene Sarazen and Ben Hogan, it is significant. You've won 165 tournaments on 6 continents, but the celebration of the winning of the Grand Slam for you has to be very important to you personally, doesn't it?
It really is, Rick, and I think, in the Bible it talks a lot about 2 things, wisdom and gratitude, and I never forget to say a prayer of thanks that I was able to accomplish all this. I look back now, and I just realized that how fortunate I was. You can have talent, you can be determined, you can have all the assets that are required, but it's still a gift from the man above. There have only been about 12 players that I consider in the history of the game of golf superstars, and I think you've got to win 6 majors to be considered a superstar. And I look back on my career and I can only say thank you, but I've made so many wonderfully terrific friends around the world.
We're going to take a short break, but when we return, more Rick Horrow, the sports professor.
The following update is for drivers who pay too much for car insurance due to DUIs, DWIs, tickets, or anything else. By now, you know all too well that SR22 auto insurance is way more than you'd ever want to pay. You probably thought you didn't have a choice, but you were wrong. Our company specializes in low-cost, very affordable SR22 auto insurance for high-risk drivers. We know that mistakes happen, so take pride in being able to offer absolutely free quotes for this very affordable auto insurance meant specifically for you, the overpaying high-risk driver. We're standing by at 800-758-0725. The only thing you need to do is stop waiting around while your monthly payments stay as high as they are. Our knowledgeable representatives are ready for your call at 800-758-0725. The quote is free, and we'll even handle the filings so you could start saving money every month even sooner. Call 800-758-0725. That's 800-758-0725. Once more, 800-758-0725.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for prescription drugs? Well, we have great news. Now you can finally get prescription drugs at huge discounts from Canada Drug Center. That's right, the most popular drugs for cholesterol, high blood pressure, depression, diabetes, arthritis, and many more are now up to 75% off. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices when you can get brand name drugs at the lowest price? Call today and get up to 75% off all the popular brand name prescription drugs. Never pay high prices again. Get the most popular drugs at huge savings from our Canadian and international pharmacies and fulfillment centers. No insurance? No problem. Prices are so low you do not need benefits or insurance to get all your prescriptions fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting to take your call now. Order today and get free shipping. Just call 800-950-1180. Up to 75% off all the popular brand name prescription drugs and free shipping. Call 800-950-1180. That's 800-950-1180.
Do you have an old car sitting in your driveway? How would you like to learn a hassle-free way to get rid of it, help kids in need, and get a great tax donation in the process? It's real easy. One simple free call to our car donation hotline is all it takes. Call the Neshama Foundation at 800-760-4895, 800-760-4895. We'll come pick your car up for free and give you a tax donation for the full value of the car, running or not. The value of your unwanted car will go to help kids in need. It's fast and easy. Just call us and your car will be gone and on its way to helping children in 48 hours. And you get a nice tax deduction. Call the Neshama Foundation now to get rid of your car, help kids, and get a tax write-off. Call 800-760-4895, 800-760-4895, 800-760-4895. That's 800-760-4895.
Welcome back to Beyond the Scoreboard with Rick Horrow. We pick up right where we left off.
More than any human being ever, dined with so many of the great country America's presidents, the emirs in the Middle East, the royal families, the prime ministers, but also in the villages of Africa and India with the real poor people who I learned so much from as well. It's been a wonderful journey. It was very difficult as a young man starting out, with my mother dying when I was 8, father a very poor man, my brother into war to fight with the Americans and the British at 17 years of age, sisters at boarding school. I come home to a dark house, but it really helped me become a world champion because I knew what it was to struggle. And any time you become a champion, it is a struggle. It's dedication, it's applications, it's eating properly, it's exercising, it's improving the mind. So I've been very blessed.
You've been blessed, but you've blessed people around you as well. And let's start with the foundation, then we'll get into the business. You know, the Give Player Foundation, many people know, most people don't, that you've raised significant dollars around the world, Shanghai, Johannesburg, the Ethel schools the Blair Ethel schools you've established, and every year you have the series of charity events, which I know from personal experience is incredibly well attended, and they really not out of obligation for people, basically because they want to support your ability to help. Tell me about the business of maximizing charitable revenue.
Well, first of all, this could never be done without really great sponsors. Coca-Cola being very helpful, Rolex, Berenberg Bank in Germany. I could go on and on and on with all the sponsors who've been magnificent, but also the businessmen and the celebrities and the pro golfers, both senior and regular tour. It's just been unbelievable to raise. We've raised almost $60 million now for charities around the world. When we raise money in America, the money goes to charities there. In South Africa, goes to education, mainly for our young black children in South Africa who were denied education. In China, it was for AIDS. We raised 60 million RMB for the aged children in China, and now in Europe for homeless people. What a wonderful feeling when you've struggled and been poor to be able to change people's lives. And I always said when I was a young boy growing up, I don't know, it's that little gift that I was telling you about. I never said one day if I'm a world champion. I said one day I'm going to be a world champion. It's something, and I'm going to help people who are struggling. So what a wonderful feeling. And if I stay healthy, which I hope I will be, the way I exercise and eat, nothing happens, I'll be able to continue to do this for underprivileged people around the world for a long time to come.
Well, a long time to come for you is another 30 or 40 years, because I've seen you do it, and that's not unrealistic, by the way. He's going to push the curve, ladies and gentlemen. What do you think, though, the guys who are up and coming, the Jordan Spieths, who hasn't won 6, but he will, Rory, who has a little trouble playing soccer, even if he doesn't have any trouble playing golf, is there a obligation to do the kinds of things that you are doing for charity if you become that kind of superstar, not just in golf, but in all sports?
Absolutely, Rick, and that's a marvelous question you've posed. Any time you make a lot of money or you are successful in life, we have an obligation, I believe. Now, whatever you say, Rick, there's always people who criticize and approve. I say never let compliments go to your head and never let criticism go to your heart. Do what you believe is right. But I believe that all people who are successful, let's take golf, which is my business. All these fellas, Arnold Palmer, Jack Nicklaus, they all have their own charities, and they put back so much. And here they're playing today. We never played for money, but these guys are playing for a first prize of $1 million every week. They definitely have an obligation because the public, the people are helping them to make that kind of money. So if somebody lends you money, you've got to pay it back. And basically, the public are lending you money. And the way I look at it, to be able to play for these enormous prizes that they do today. They all fly around in jets. We went. So it's a very different world. And I would also like to see, quite honestly, there's so many now let's get on to young golfers. There's so many that are wanting to play the tour with great talent around the world that might never get to play. I believe all the prize money that players win, it's so enormous today. They should take 5% of their prize money and denote it to young tours around the world where young guys can play, even if they play for $200,000, but to have an opportunity to get to play instead of sitting on the sidelines. So it's give and take in life. I really believe that, and I think your question is terrific.
Well, and I also think, based on that answer, you should be the king of the R&A and the PGA Tour all at once. But we'll get to that a little later. Very quickly, because we have more time for more important stuff. We only got about 5 minutes, I know, for you. By the way, he's on his way to be recognized at the St. Andrews Hall of Fame and the Center of Golf for Lifetime Achievements, which Gary Player deserves and does all the time. Donald Trump, is he good for golf? Has he said too much? What's his future? How's that?
That's always a difficult question because everybody is always so judgmental about everything people say. I've been around a long time. I would never have said the things that Donald Trump said. I don't agree with the way he put it across. He could have been far more diplomatic and more presidential on his points of view. But I think he made a mistake, and I think that he'll regret saying it. But this is something it's all very easy to stand on the sidelines and criticize. But he's done a lot for golf, and he's done a lot for a lot of people. We mustn't forget the good that he's done. Don't just hammer people. I mean, if you look at presidents of the United States of America, a lot of them have not behaved all that well, and they come back. They say, always give the man a mulligan, give the man another chance. I liked what President Clinton said. I don't believe in 3 strikes before you're out. I believe give them 2 strikes. And let's hope that all this settles down and works out for the best, because he does do a lot of good around the world. We must never forget the good and just think of the bad. It's a funny thing in life. You can have a lot of people say nice things about you, but there'll always be somebody that has hatred in his heart and say something nasty, and you'll think of the thing that's nasty instead of thinking of all the great things that said about you, because you want to be loved by everybody, and unfortunately, that's not possible.
Well, sounds like the media generally. Tell me a little bit about the evolution of Black Knight International and Gary Player Design, Player Real Estate, the academies, Black Knight Enterprises, events, publishing wine, apparel, memorabilia. Only in this context, describe the brand of Gary Player generally, Gary, and this will never happen because you're not going to be gone, but what does the brand look like after you are gone?
Well, if you look at Chanel, for example, they're dead and gone. If you look at Bobby Jones, who was this marvelous gentleman of golf and one of the greatest players that ever lived, his legacy goes on, his brand continues. As long as you have a brand that you don't just endorse every little thing that comes along for money, that you have a brand that has class, I think the brand can go on a long time. And my son is very, very conscientious and emphatic that our brand will not just be money, but it will be class. And I'm so lucky to have a son that manages me in that regard. He's all very meticulous. And so I hope that our brand will continue to do well, and I'm very optimistic that it will.
Two more. One is, you talked about the U.S. Open greens a bit. You talked about the performance-enhancing drugs in 2007. You're the oldest athlete ever to pose nude in ESPN, the magazine's annual body issue. I lumped them together only because you are known as an ambassador and a spokesman that transcends the fray, but yet you are able to do whatever you want and speak your mind and have people listen to it. How do you do it?
I think, first of all, if you can try and be diplomatic and realize that what you're doing is for a good cause. Let's take ESPN appearing on the nude magazine. First of all, it's done very discreetly, and I wouldn't have done it if it wasn't done discreetly. I'm practicing like Jack LaLanne was my dear friend. I'm trying to get the youth of the world to realize their body is a holy temple, to be able to contribute to society, to work hard, save governments of all this money on health care. The way we're going, governments will not be able to afford it. We're becoming a world of sick people. So with the exercise and the tough routine that I live by.
We're going to take a short break, but when we return, more Rick Horrow, the sports professor.
Hey travelers, do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right, call, because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at ridiculously low prices. Our prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find ridiculously low prices for you. Call SmartFares today and get the best price on your next flight. Guaranteed. Also, save up to 50% off business and first class tickets.
855-325-1780. 855-325-1780. That's 855-325-1780. Nobody really needs or wants home security until it's too late. You've heard the statistics about how many burglaries there are per day. You see the news. You know there are people out there that do bad things. The best way to help protect your home and your property is with an ADT monitored system from Protect Your Home, an ADT authorized premier provider. Call right now to get a free wireless home security system valued at $850. An ADT monitored system can help protect your home from fires, theft, floods, and call for emergency help. Call now to find out more about our $850 free wireless home security system and start enjoying the peace of mind of security today. Call 800-587-4281, 800-587-4281, 800-587-4281. This offer is for new customers only. Termination fees apply. $99 customer installation charge and 36-month monitoring agreement required. All for details. License terms and conditions available at secureathome.com.
Not too long ago, it felt good to withdraw your cash from the bank, didn't it? For a vacation or a new car. But today, withdrawing your own cash has become risky. Pat Boone here for Swiss America. According to The Secret War, a new Swiss America white paper, I learned that all banks are now required to spy on you and me for the government, and then report any financial behavior deemed suspicious or unusual. You must read The Secret War. It's free. Truth is, I believe the government's new war against cash is really a war against us all. But the secret is now out. So please, get and read The Secret War.
Pick up your phone and call right now. 800-932-5517. 800-932-5517. 800-932-5517. Once again, that's 800-932-5517.
Welcome back to Beyond the Scoreboard with Rick Horrow. We pick up right where we left off.
Exercise and realize how important it is to be fit. I did this, and I'm so happy I did, because people could look and say, here's a guy who's nearly 80. Look at his body, what it looks like. I'm going to change. So I feel, and I'm very happy that I did that. Let's take the U.S. Open. The U.S. Open golf course, I think it's a wonderful thing that the USGA choose a public golf course, because that's for the people, and golf is for the people. But they talk about speeding up play. Well, how can you have speed of play when it's taking you so long to play a round of golf, and it's ruining the game of golf, this tremendous slow play? Now, the whole thing at the U.S. Open was unlike the U.S. Open to choose a course like that. And now they want to encourage people to play golf. That's the thing, to get more people playing and to make it cheaper. You go and find out what it costs to play there, Rick, on a public golf course. They've got to make it cheaper. They've got to make golf so it can go faster, so people can play in the morning after being away all week, whether it's man or woman, in business, and can spend the weekend with their families and still have the enjoyment of golf. So all I was trying to do is just say, let's go in the right direction. The rounds of golf, Rick, are going down in the world with amateurs. Professional golf has never been this healthy. But with amateurs, rounds are deteriorating. They're making the golf courses with the greens too undulating, bunkers in front of the green too long. They're making people not enjoy it. And it's a game where people want to go out and have enjoyment. So the whole thing at the U.S. Open was unlike the USGA's philosophy. What was the other thing? What was the other thing you said?
Performance-enhancing drugs in 2007.
Yes. Now, about 12 years ago, I said that athletic sport is riddled with performance-enhancing drugs, and I was criticized. Now, all of a sudden, 12 years later, they're saying, gee, Gary, you were really right. I mean, you read about it every single week. They tested 104 baseball players some time ago, and 104 were positive. They've seen golfers. They've seen the Tour de France. I mean, this was long before Lance Armstrong. And the professor at Harvard University said that it was hard for a man to finish the last part of the Tour de France unless he was on some kind of performance-enhancing drugs. You read about it every single week, in almost every single sport there's been something happening. And it's a tragedy. And I don't know how you're going to stop it. Rick.
Well, the bottom line is you stop it by listening to people who care what you do. There you go, speaking your mind again and having change on the industry. I've got one final question for you, probably the most important one. You travel.
Rick, I'm in no hurry.
All right,
Rick, if you have a couple of questions, I'm very happy to answer them.
This is the most important one as we end this, too, because I want your perspective on it. You've traveled the world. You've spent years in the industry. What's the most important thing to you? Winning your 9 majors, winning the career Grand Slam, designing 325-plus golf courses, traveling 25 million miles, doing 1,000 sit-ups a day, or having 21 grandkids? How's that? You can't answer that one. What's the answer to that one?
They're all important, but when you've got 22 grandchildren and 6 children, you're a rich man. And we just spent a holiday in Greece all together, all 40 of us. They ate like it was the Last Supper. They kept their head down. They never said much at meals. I said, if you could keep your head down like that when you're hitting a golf ball, you'd all be champions. So there now I've got to come back and win a tournament just to break even for the Bulls.
Listen, that's the right answer, and it's not 21, it's 32. That's what happens when you're Gary Player. Thank you, as usual. You're a good friend. I am honored to have you do this always. And by the way, in advance, November 1, ladies and gentlemen, happy 80th birthday.
Thank you so much. Love to all your viewers and listeners.
Thank you. See you this week. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Next up in the best of golf, Joe Steranka.
Rick Horrow keeping score. The majors in golf capture the scenes, but it's also a very large and prolific business that has gone through downturns and now back to upturns, and probably, in my mind, the definitive expert on all aspects of the golf business in all contexts, Joe Steranka. Joe, how are you?
Rick, I'm terrific. I wasn't aware that I was as omnipotent about the golf industry, it being $68 billion strong. But thank you. You always give me gracious introductions.
Well, you're those of us who have toiled in industries for more than 30 years get the de facto omnipotent title, regardless of intelligence. You were, as we know, the PGA of America head for years, and you were 25 years involved in the PGA of America as well. And the too numerous to mention, the Buffalo Agency, a worldwide strategic agency golf business, the chief global strategist, president of the Honda Classic. We can go on, but from your perspective, the golf business encompasses a lot of different things. How's it doing?
It's the state of the industry is solid. Let's face it, things changed in the aftermath of the Great Recession. That any industry that relies on discretionary time and money was more greatly challenged. To demonstrate its relevance as a place that people should spend those very precious commodities. So golf, we've got 17 million loyal golf fans and participants out of the 24 million plus that play the game every year, and they drive a lion's share, 83% of the revenue that comes from our sport, 83% of the rounds, 85% of the revenue that comes into the industry every year. So I mentioned that, overall it's a $68 billion a year industry, and maybe $30 billion of that comes from golf course operations. The 440 million times a year that people show up at a golf course and go see a PGA professional to help them with their game and play on great greens prepared by a GCSA superintendent, and oftentimes managed by a CMAA manager. So did I help show all of the interested parties the amalgamation of acronyms that make golf fun for these 24 million people who come out every day?
You did, but you covered, just by nature of how the industry is today, maybe 30% of it, maybe 40%. It's hard because the statistic is blurry, meaning this is an international audience. And I know PGA of America has a very interesting perspective, but there are mirror organizations all over the world. So numbers worldwide, I know you don't have them down to the decimal point, but give us a sense of how big the golf industry is globally.
Yeah, it's about 100 million people who play around the world, or have played at some point around the world. But it's also about $100 billion a year industry globally, with America racking up over 2/3 of that. People now travel the world to chase these bucket list appointments on the world's greatest golf courses. I in the last few years have had the pleasure of playing in New Zealand and Tasmania and the UK and all across the USA. But it's the biggest year in the history of the game globally, and that is the celebration of the U.S. Open again last week in Pittsburgh. The state of Pennsylvania, golf is about a $5 billion a year industry there. We kicked off with the Masters, obviously, in April, and we'll follow up with a Open Championship, British Open Championship at Troon, go to Baldwin for the PGA of America's 100th birthday celebration, but also the season's final major, the PGA Championship. But the largest television audience in the history of men's and women's golf will come out of Rio, believe it or not. 60 men, 60 women playing 72 holes for medals for the first time in modern Olympic history. And it will usher in a whole new generation of young people that are looking up to these stars saying, yeah, I'd like to win Olympic gold, silver, or bronze as well and represent my country playing a game of golf.
Incredibly interesting perspective. Joe Steranka, Chief Global Strategist, Buffalo Communications, former head of PGA of America, and so much more. And now he's taken his Tasmanian, as you heard, golf game to a new level. Down in the southern hemisphere, does that left-to-right hook you put on the ball go right to left?
I was fortunate to go down there with Ian Baker Finch, the 1991 British Open champion, who's a good friend from back in South Florida. We went to Barnbougle Dunes, a great, business organized by the Sattler family of Tasmania and Australia, and was made a hole-in-one on the Lost Dunes course, number 17. So
I didn't set you up for that. That's
so
incredible. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I'd never really known that you had done that, and I know you well enough to realize that it's painful for you to have kept that quiet 9 minutes into this interview. I thought you would have led with that.
Well, my biggest perspective that relates to the business of golf here in America, when I went to New Zealand and Australia, and I've seen it before in Ireland and in Scotland and England, but the cost of golf is much lower there. And even, looking at the year-round climbs of Australia, oftentimes you can join one of the top private clubs there for, $3,500 a year in annual dues. But those courses might have 1,000 or, for a 36-hole facility might have, as many as 3,000 members. And here in the United States, we're stuck at anywhere from 200 to 500 members for 18 holes, depending on where it is. And I think for private clubs to be sustainable, we've got to figure out how we manage many more members to be able to economically sustain golf courses going into the future. And they've proven you can do it in other parts of the world, and I think we need to take a look at that here in the United States.
Great segue, Joe. Just a couple more. Southern Hemisphere. Then we do focus back on Rio for a minute, and people may not understand that this is not a story about whether Louis Oosthuizen or Vijay Singh are right about playing or not. This is a story about, both on the men's and women's side, an incredible, prolific opportunity to open golf.
We're going to take a short break, but when we return, more Rick Horrow, the sports professor.
Rebuild or replace transmission, $3,200. Anti-lock brake system, $1,000. Rebuild or replace engine, $2,400. Truth is, once your manufacturer's warranty runs out, it's all on you. Every last cent. Get protection for covered repairs with a vehicle service contract from Toco Warranty. Unlike other companies, with Toco, there's no down payment, and the monthly payments are really affordable. Not sure how long you're keeping your car? At Toco, you can pay as you go. Keep your hard-earned cash and call Toco Warranty right now at 800-222-2313 to save big money on covered auto repairs. Prices vary by vehicle, but for about the cost of a tank of gas per month, a Toco plan has your back on expensive covered car repairs. Monthly payments are very affordable. Get your free quote now. Call Toco at 800-222-2313. That's 800-222-2313. 800-222-2313. Cancellation fee may apply. Subject to eligibility. Not available in Missouri and Washington. Waiting period and deductible apply. Coverage provided and administered by Warrantech Corporation or its affiliates. Not affiliated with any manufacturer or dealership. Visit TocoWarranty.com for complete terms and conditions.
Hi, I'm Dr. Robert Clapper, Chief of Orthopedic Surgery at Cedars-Sinai Medical Group in Los Angeles, California. Dedicated to your health, your life, and your sports. As a weekend warrior, you know about sports injuries and pain. Exercise is an important element in keeping your body's core in good shape to minimize sports injuries. But when you are in pain, there is one product that I recommend to my patients, and that is Blue Goo Gel. Blue Goo consists of a proprietary formula developed specifically for the treatment of inflammation and general muscle aches and strains. I recommend Blue Goo for my patients coping with hip and knee pain before surgery, especially bursitis and tendinitis. Give Blue Goo a try. Call 1-888-330-0123 and you'll receive a 1-week supply of Blue Goo absolutely free. The makers of Blue Goo are even paying the shipping. The number again is 1-888-330-0123. If you want more information on Blue Goo, visit online at www.dothegoo.com.
Now available at select Big 5 stores near you.
When you struggle with credit card bills every month, you're not just in debt. Debt is all around you.
I see people every day that are on the brink. They're going to go over the edge, and at the bottom is bankruptcy, and we pull them back.
At the Debt Helpline, we're experts at helping you resolve your debt problems and become free of debt. We can help you pay off your debt and give you one lower monthly payment that you can afford.
You do get to consolidate your payments. You only have to worry about making one payment a month instead of making 3 or 4 or 5.
If you have $5,000, $10,000 or more in credit card bills, call the Debt Helpline now for a free confidential debt analysis.
800-957-6063. 800-957-6063. Call the CESI Debt Helpline right now for a free confidential debt review. 800-957-6063. 800-957-6063.
Welcome back to Beyond the Scoreboard with Rick Horrow. We pick up right where we left off.
In the world of golf to go down to South America.
Do we find it? I find it incredible in a way that years ago, Tiger so much dominated the headlines you couldn't pick up a golf magazine clearly, and others without talk of Tiger, the Tigerization of the tour, et cetera, regardless of whether he's coming back or not, which is not your issue or mine. Do you find it interesting and maybe positive that we're spending so little now time talking about Tiger Woods as an influence in golf today?
Well, you mentioned 30 years in sports, so I had the good fortune of working with Michael Jordan when he turned professional. I was at ProServe and working with David Falk and Donald Dell on the development of the Air Jordan brand and seeing how he became an iconic global figure. And the NBA was ruining the day that would lose Michael Jordan to bring in the rating points and the cross-generational and audience that he would attract. But today, we're blessed to have Seth Curry and LeBron James and, a great generation, a new generation of NBA players. And golf has never been in better hands, taking a look at the young guns on both the men's tour, from the Jordans and Jasons and Rorys and Rickies to, the Lexis and Lydias on the LPGA. So time marches on, my friend. And but the beauty of it is this next generation or new generation of players, they're very comfortable in social media. They're more accessible and available to share what's going on in their lives with their peers, and it's going to make golf all the more interesting. So the combination of the globalization of the sport, the addition of the Olympics, these young role models that young people in America and around the world can look up to, golf's never been in better hands.
The guy's been in the sports business for nearly 40 years, and when he says time marches on, He means it. Joe Starenka, thank you very much. Rick Horrow, speak with you in a couple of minutes.